Hi students, good afternoon. So today we are going to see the fifth prose, the status of Tamil as a classical language written by George L. Hart. Okay, so let us see about the author George L. Hart first. So George L. Hart. So George Lucien Hart is the full name. So George Lucien Hart is a professor of Tamil language at the University of California, Berkeley. His work focuses on classical Tamil literature and on identifying the relationships between Tamil and Sanskrit literature. In 2015, the government of India awarded him the title of Padma Shri, the third highest civilian honor. He studied Latin, Greek, Sanskrit, and several modern and European languages. Okay, so George Lucien Hart, shortly called as George L. Hart, is a professor of Tamil language. So still he is a professor of Tamil language at the University of California. Okay, so he is the professor of Tamil language at the University of California, Berkeley. So it is in US. His work focuses on classical Tamil literature. So classical Tamil literature na enna solradhu semmolinu solluvom illaya. So his work focuses on classical Tamil literature and on identifying the relationships between Tamil and Sanskrit literature. Okay, so he focused, that is he had done many researches on classical Tamil literature, that is Tamil Semmoli, right? Okay, and on identifying the relationship, and also he had done researches on finding out the relationships between Tamil and Sanskrit literature. In 2015, the government of India awarded him the title of Padma Shri. So during the year of 2015, he was awarded Padma Shri by the Indian government, and so which is the third highest civilian award. Padma Shri is the third highest civilian award. He studied Latin, Greek, Sanskrit, and several modern and European languages. So he had known some other languages like Latin, Greek, Sanskrit, and several modern and European languages. So ஒரு Tamil professor means, so and also he was a researcher in classical Tamil literature இல்லையா. So only when a person of such kind knows many languages, then only he will be able to compare the relationship between one language and the other. Okay, so apart from Tamil, he had studied Latin, Greek, Sanskrit, and several modern and European languages. Now let us get inside the prose. So the status of Tamil as a classical language. So let us see the warm-up first. Name a few languages spoken in India. So what are all the languages spoken in India, or name a few languages spoken in India. So Tamil, Hindi, Telugu, Kannadam, Malayalam, so etc. are the languages spoken in India. Next, mention a few international language. So international language means the language which is spoken in the national level. So what are all the international languages? So English is definitely an international language. So English, French, Russian, Arabic, Greek, so these are all etc. There are many international languages. Greek, Latin, Russian, these are all international languages. Next one, the box below gives details of a few languages and their origin. Arrange them chronologically. So chronological order means arranging according to the year wise. Okay, so Chinese 1250 BC, Hebrew 1000 BC, Latin 75 BC, Tamil 300 BC, Greek 1500 BC, and Sanskrit 2000 BC, and Arabic 512 AD. Okay, so you have to arrange them in the chronological order. Okay, next one, look at the D question. Following are some of the great works in Tamil. Find out their names by filling in the missing letters. See, they have given some greatest works in the Tamil. So find out their names by filling in the missing letters. So first one, for example, what is first one? It is Natrinai, Natrinai, Natrinai. Second Tolkappiyam. Second one, Tolkappiyam, Tholkappiyam, Tolkappiyam. Next one, MEKI, I think Manimekalai, MANIMEKALAI, Manimekalai. Okay, likewise you have to find out the remaining. So fourth one, Pattu Paattu. Fifth one, Agananuru. And the last one, Tirukural. Okay, so you have to find out the names by filling in the missing letters. So write all the missing letters in the boxes. Okay, now let us go to the do you know part. Dr. U.V. Swaminatha Iyer. So you might have studied about him in your Tamil itself. So Dr. U.V. Swaminatha Iyer, known as Tamil Tata. So he was born in 1855 and was died in 1942. And Damodara Pillai, born in 1832 and died in 1901. Both Tamil scholars had collected old palm leaf and paper manuscripts and catalogued them. They had also edited most of the classical texts for the first time. Okay, so Dr. U.V. Swaminatha Iyer, he was also called as Tamil Tata. He was born in 1855 and lived till 1942. And Damodara Pillai, born in 1832 and 1901, died on 1901. So both were great Tamil scholars. Scholars means the greatest literated, educated persons. Okay, Tamil scholars had collected, so they have collected old palm leaf, என்ன சொல்கிறது, பனை ஓலை சொல்லுவாங்க இல்லையா, and paper manuscripts. So manuscripts means the written using handwritten manually. Okay, so they have collected the old palm leaf and paper manuscripts, their writings in the paper, and catalogued them. So catalogued them means arranged them or classified them. Okay, they had also edited most of the classical texts for the first time, and also they have edited most of the classical texts for the first time. So these two are the persons who had edited the classical texts for the first time. Who? Swaminatha Iyer and Damodara Pillai. So what is the primary sources for them is immediate first-hand accounts from people, or original documents, reports by people who witnessed the events. Okay, so immediate first-hand accounts from people or original documents, though so whatever they have got from the people or the reports by the people who had seen them, who had witnessed them, so they were the primary sources. And what are all the secondary sources is cover or quote the primary sources for interpretation. The people who had quoted the primary sources, they were the secondary sources for them. Okay, so Mr. George L. Hart, a linguistic anthropologist, endeavors to make a comparative analysis of classical languages of the world. Now let's see which language emerges as the best amongst equals from his point of view. Okay, so Mr. George Lucien Hart, a linguistic anthropologist. So what is mean by linguistic anthropologist? Means a study of how language influences social life. A person who studies about how the language is influencing or what are all the influence of a language in a social life. A person who studies about this is called as linguistic anthropologist. So Mr. George L. Hart is a linguistic anthropologist, endeavors to make a comparative analysis. So endeavor means, so he had tried very hard to make a comparative analysis of classical languages of the world. So he had worked hard to make a comparative analysis study about the classical languages of the world. Now let us see which languages emerge as the best amongst equals from his point of view. Now let us see which language emerge as the best among them. From whose point of view? From Mr. George L. Hart's point of view. So on April 11, 2000, Professor Maraimalai had asked me to write regarding the position of Tamil as a classical language, and I am delighted to respond to his request. Okay, so Professor Maraimalai has asked me to write regarding the, asked whom? Asked George L. Hart to write regarding the position of Tamil as a classical language, and he was delighted. Delighted means felt happy to respond to his request. Whose request? George L. Hart was happy to respond to the request of Professor Maraimalai. Okay, so I have been a professor of Tamil at the University of California, Berkeley since 1975, and I am currently holder of the Tamil chair at that institution. Okay, so here I refers to, so I refers to whom? I refers to George L. Hart. So he was the professor of Tamil at the University of California, Berkeley since 1975. So from 1975 he was working as a professor of Tamil at the University of California, and I am currently holder of the Tamil chair at that institution, and currently he still he is working as a professor there. Okay, my degree which I received in 1970 is in Sanskrit from Harvard. So in 1970 he had received a degree in Sanskrit from Harvard University, and my first employment was as a Sanskrit professor at the University of Wisconsin, Madison in 1869. Okay, so where is Wisconsin? It is in US. So his first employment after his degree was he worked as a Sanskrit professor at the University of Wisconsin, Madison in 1969. So besides Tamil and Sanskrit, I know the classical languages of Latin and Greek and have read extensively in their literatures in the original. So apart from Tamil and Sanskrit, he knows the classical languages of Latin and Greek and have read extensively. Extensively means very vastly in their literatures in the original. I am also well acquainted with comparative linguistics and the literatures of modern Europe. So well acquainted means he had a good knowledge on the comparative linguistics. So comparative linguistics means study of the relationship between two or more languages. So linguistic means it is language. So comparative linguistics means study of relationship between two or more languages. So well acquainted means had a good knowledge, having a very good skill or knowledge. Okay, so he had a good knowledge on comparative linguistics and the literatures of modern Europe, and also on the literatures of modern Europe. Okay, so let me state unequivocally that by any criteria one may choose Tamil as is one of the greatest classical literatures and the traditions of the world. So unequivocally means unambiguously. So unambiguously means without any doubt, of no doubt அப்படின்னு சொல்லுவோம் இல்லையா, எந்த சந்தேகமும் இல்லாமல் அப்படின்னு சொல்லுவோம் இல்லையா, that is called as unambiguously or unequivocally. So let me state unequivocally that by any criteria, so by any means, by any standard or by any quality, one may choose Tamil is one of the greatest classical literatures and the traditions of the world. So Tamil is one of the greatest classical literature. So எப்படி compare பண்ணாலும் under any criteria which is the best classical, greatest classical literature means it is Tamil. Okay, Tamil is one of the greatest classical literatures and the tradition of the world. The reasons of this are many. Let me consider them one by one. So the reason for his statement is, that is the reason for his above statement is, there are many reasons for suggesting the above statement. So let me consider them one by one. So let me explain them one by one. Who says? George L. Hart, professor of Tamil language at the University of California, which is in Berkeley. Okay. First, Tamil is of considerable antiquity. It predates the literatures of other modern Indian languages by more than 1,000 years. Its oldest work, the Tolkappiyam, contains parts that, judging from the earliest Tamil inscriptions, date back to about 200 BCE. Okay. So his first point to substantiate is, Tamil is one of considerable antiquity. So considerable antiquity means ample or sizable. Antiquity means ancientness. Okay. பழமை அப்படின்னு சொல்லுவோம் இல்லையா, that is antiquity. So Tamil is one of the considerable antiquity. It is one of the oldest language. It predates the literatures of other modern Indian languages by more than 1,000 years. So comparing to other modern Indian languages, இது எவ்வளோ நாள் முன்னாடி இருந்திருக்கு? More than 1,000 years. Its oldest work, Tolkappiyam. So Tolkappiyam is said to be one of the oldest work in Tamil literature, isn't it or not? So its oldest work, the Tolkappiyam, contains parts that, judging from the earliest Tamil inscriptions. So what is mean by inscription is a historical, religious or other record cut, impressed, painted or other on a hard surface. Can you understand? So a historical, religious or other record, or a historical record or a religious record, ஒரு கட் பண்ணியோ ஒரு இம்ப்ரெஷனோ ஒரு பெயிண்டிங்கோ ஒரு ஹார்டு சர்ஃபேஸ் மேலே இருந்ததுன்னா, தட் இஸ் கால்ட் அஸ் இன்ஸ்கிரிப்ஷன். ஓகே. So Tolkappiyam contains parts that, judging from the earliest Tamil inscriptions, date back to about before 200 BCE. BCE means before the Christian era, that is period. The greatest works of ancient Tamil, the Sangam anthologies and the Pathupattu, date to the first 2 centuries of the current era. They are the first great secular body of poetry written in India, predating Kalidasa's works by 200 years. So anthology means, see what is mean by anthology? Anthology means book or other collection of selected writings by various authors. Okay, book or other collection of selected writings by various authors. So the author will be many. That is called as anthology. So secular means non-religious or temporal. Non-religious, that is secularism. Okay. So the greatest works of ancient Tamil, the Sangam anthologies and the Pathupattu, date to the first 2 centuries of the current era. So adella written when? It was written during the first 2 centuries of the current period. They are the first great secular body of poetry written in India, predating to Kalidasa's works by 200 years. So before the Kalidasa's work, it was written before 200 years. See, they have written Tolkappiyam written in Volaichuvadi. So they have given the pictures of Tolkappiyam written in Volaichuvadi, that is in the palm leaf. So second, Second, Tamil constitutes the only literary tradition indigenous to India that is not derived from Sanskrit. Indeed, its literature arose before the influence of Sanskrit in the south became strong, and so is qualitatively different from anything we have in Sanskrit or other Indian languages. It has its own poetic theory, its own grammatical tradition, its own aesthetics, and above all, a large body of literature that is quite unique. Okay. So, second, Tamil constitutes the only literary tradition indigenous to India. So, what does mean by indigenous? Means native. Okay, native to India. So, Tamil constitutes the only literary tradition which is native to India, which is not derived from the Sanskrit. So, it has no derivation from the Sanskrit language. Indeed, its literature arose before the influence of Sanskrit in the south became strong. So, south side சான்ஸ்கிரிட்டோட இன்ஃப்ளூயன்ஸ் ரொம்ப அதோட இன்ஃப்ளூயன்ஸ் ரொம்ப அதிகமாகிறதுக்கு முன்னாடி இட் ஹேட் அரோஸ் விச் ஒன் தமிழ் and so is qualitatively different from anything we have in Sanskrit or other Indian languages, and also quality wise it is different from anything we have written in the Sanskrit or in the other languages. It has its own poetic theory, its own grammatical tradition. It has its own poetic theory, its own grammatical tradition, its own aesthetics, and above all, a large body of literature that is quite unique. Okay, so Tamil has its own grammatical tradition, it has its own poetic theory. So there are many rules, many norms, and that is they will be following in writing the Tamil poems. So it has its own grammatical tradition. So grammar it has its own tradition and its own aesthetics. Aesthetics means American spelling for aesthetics, sense of beauty. So aesthetics, actually it is AESTHETICS. So American English la A இல்லாம வரது தான் இந்த spelling aesthetics. So meaning is sense of beauty. So Tamil has its own sense of beauty, and above all, a large body of literature that is very unique. Unique na enna? So by its nature. Okay, it is very unique. Tamil is very unique. So it shows a sort of Indian sensibility that is quite different from anything in Sanskrit or other Indian languages, and it contains its own extremely rich and vast intellectual tradition. Okay, so it shows a sort of Indian sensibility that is quite different from anything in Sanskrit. So it is unique. So as we have seen already, Tamil is unique. It has its own feature and is very different from Sanskrit or other Indian languages, and it contains its own extremely rich and vast intellectual tradition. So it is very rich in its content, Tamil, and it has much a vast intellectual tradition. Intellectual means very skilled when it so Tamil is having its own tradition. Okay, so the third point is the